Now, one of the things that I've been diving deep into the rabbit hole recently is photobiomodulation, this idea of light therapy, right? And I've loved it. My father was doing this stuff in the 80s and doing research into low-level light therapy and all sorts of things that always fascinated me. Lasers and putting lights on the body and seeing it heal differently and understanding it's actually being absorbed into the body. And you talk about blue light. So I want to have you talk about what is the significance in all of this and the research you're showing that you put out there in your paper. Where does blue light fit into all this?
Absolutely. Well, this paper, I'm telling you, it's like an 11-page robust paper. Took on a life of its own, right? Okay, so the photobiomodulation, love this stuff. There's actually some excellent tech that I actually dropped in an interview, episode 668 with Dave Asprey. He's a good friend of mine, actually both from the same island here. There's actually a laser in rejuvenation that can make the skin cells behave younger. And what it's doing is it's actually adjusting the epigenetics or the cellular expression of the skin cell. Pretty cool. So it's a Stanford study. It looked at 50-year-old skin cells before treatment and then after treatment with this laser, and then saw what was happening afterwards, that the skin cells were behaving more like a 30-year-old. So this is incredible. So we can not only see more youthfulness with cells with things like photobiomodulation, with things like potentially exosomes and stem cells, and with things like reducing our environmental stressors and exposure to toxins and things. However, in my research, UV and blue light both create phototoxicity. Okay. So I love the sun. I take specific supplements to allow me to be outside for longer. I even recently did some research with melanotan, more on that later. But essentially, I'm what you would consider a Fitzpatrick skin type 2. Traditionally, in the past, I would go in the sun and burn in about 5-10 minutes. Then I started to clean up my act with biohacking a number of years ago. Take really potent antioxidants, superoxide dismutase, really following actually immune supportive protocol with NAC, quercetin, zinc, green tea extract, all sorts of good things, adaptogens. And I was like, whoa, here I am in Florida or somewhere else in the South. Like I did a 5 to 7 day long fast also in Sedona in Utah. And that totally changed my body, got me in a beautiful autophagy state, completely changed my brain, my physical form, got rid of all those senescent cells, that extra little bit of weight, looking pretty nice and trim and shredded, although very feminine. And I started to notice I could be outside for longer, which is interesting. So my body was better able to handle the oxidative stress, the reactive oxidative species on the skin caused by UV. But what the research shows is that both UV and blue light both create oxidative stress to the skin. Now, the issue with blue light is that we're literally in front of it all day. So one of the things I've started doing is recording episodes in front of a window instead of my studio lighting and wearing different blue light blocking glasses all of the time. Wiring the home to be more circadian rhythm balancing. Just don't do it with Bluetooth because then that's going to increase your EMFs. Using more candle light is really important. And wearing your skincare with antioxidants, like antioxidants and peptides in your serum and moisturizer, and mineral-only sunscreen, and taking certain supplements to support the skin to manage that phytotoxicity. We all know skin cancer, things like that. Some of the more benign things that pop up on the skin from UV and blue light, loss of elastin and collagen due to the fibroblasts not behaving as youthfully as they would like to, fellow exosomes and stem cells. That's what they can do is support the scaffolding. Then you can start to see scarring of red acne spots, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, sunspots, age spots, melasma. All these things can happen through UV and also blue light. So the other easy thing with blue light in your home, switch out all of your LED lights to halogen or incandescent. It's going to cost you more. It's not going to be as constant energy efficient, but convenience these days are, I hate to say it, killing us. So just some easy mitigation tactics there.
Yeah, for sure. I love that one with the bulbs itself because people don't realize that we go to these LEDs. They are completely in the blue light spectrum, really. And we're using them at light and they're just awful for aging, for all these things. You know, T.S. Wiley called them the ultimate endocrine disruptor. And we've just made them worse over the years. That's why full spectrum ones are great. Incandescent are still good, even though they're trying to take it off the market. It's like most of the stuff they're trying to take off the market is better for us than what they're trying to get us to use. And it's all in the guise of like more energy efficient. Like that's great, but we're killing ourselves. So there's a little bit.
We're seeing parallel systems form. It's happened before.
Yes, yes.